There was just some thunder and a big lightning bolt over there. I better head inside my quilting sign. Ooh. Yeah, I think it's time to go work on blocks 70, 71, and 72 from the 4x5 Quilt Block Anthology. Hello everybody from along the Continental Divide. This afternoon, early evening, we are experiencing a little thunder bumper. I see some thunder and some dark clouds rolling in over the mountains. And I am taking that opportunity, instead of being out doing yard work, I'm going to sew a little bit this afternoon. Before we get started, I wanted to give a little hint of something that I'm kind of in the reuse, recycle mode. And it's getting to be back to school time. My granddaughter was recently here for a visit, and I bought her some of these Chobani drinkable yogurts. And the container is really hard plastic. And I thought they'd make the perfect ice pack for back to school lunches, or lunches for adults as they head off to college, or I take my lunch to work almost every day, even if it's a piece of fruit or a yogurt or something to eat in the middle of the day. But anyway, I washed these out and I freeze them with water, leave a little bit of room for expansion, but they're the perfect ice pack. I don't know if you can see that. This one's got ice already frozen in it. I just thought they were cute and a good way to reuse these rather than going in the landfill. It's just kind of a little recycling hint, I guess. This week though, as we delve into blocks 70, 71, and 72, the format here is going to be a little bit different this week. I accidentally left one of my blocks in the house, and now I can't find it. So as soon as I find it, I will be taking pictures and posting that separately. But the format for this week will be just a little bit different. I'll take pictures and explain the blocks when I find the last one. But I'll record earlier here. This section was pre-recorded. Maybe I should say that. But also, summer is winding down, and I will be spending a little bit more time at another residence that I have down in Southwest Idaho in the Boise area. I am going to be taking along, of course, my sewing machine, my Bernina. I'll be finishing up some blocks down there. And if you're calculating 182 blocks from the 4x5 Quilt Block Anthology, half would be 91. We passed the 1/3 mark, but I also want to be done with the sew along in 2019, which means because I have kind of been a slacker this summer and played a little bit harder than I anticipated, I've got some catch up to do. So as soon as I get to my other location, I am going to try to really crank out these blocks, because I just think all of these should be done in 2019. I don't want the sew along to be dragging on forever, which means we'll probably be doing 6 and sometimes 10 blocks a week, maybe. But now that you have paper piecing down, you have English paper piecing down and template placing and piecing, and some of those harder blocks you can do it. I know you can. Also, I wanted to mention that I still have not quite decided how I would like to give away the quilts, the quilting on a quilt for anybody who finishes their quilt top. It will need to be at least a setting with at least half of the blocks, at least 91 blocks. Now, whether that's, it doesn't have to be all of them, but I don't feel it's fair if you do one block 91 times either. Try your hand at paper piecing. I just feel like a good effort needs to be made. I just think some effort will need to be made to do at least 91 blocks, different blocks. Some can be the same, but in the end, somebody will win. If they would choose to enter and they want me to quilt their quilt, somebody will enter their quilt top quilted for free. That does not include the binding. You will have to do the binding yourself, but through the mail system and processes, and I do a lot of quilts, mailing them back and forth for people. So anyway, there will be a chance for you to win your quilt top from, my book's kind of buried here because I'm working on a template block, your quilt from the 4x5 Quilt Block Anthology, quilted for free by me here in Idaho on my long arm. I have a Gamble Classic Plus. It is stitch regulated. And I will quilt it pretty much how you would like. I don't know if this quilt lends itself to custom quilting. It possibly could, but if you were to do that, it would be pretty densely quilted. So you might just put some thought into how you would like your quilt top quilted. I would like to finish this quilt sew along in 2019. With that said, let's get into blocks 70, 71, and 72.
Okay, number 70 was called Log Off. And it was 7 pieces where you added one upon the other. Starting down in the bottom right-hand quarter, you added one to the left and then the top, and then one to the left and to the top. Very easy block. These 7 pieces went together very easily. And there you see the pieces all ironed. The seams were all ironed open. Very good block. High in contrast, easy block to start out with this week. Number 71 was called Cousins. This one was a challenge. You can see right there, I had 2 pieces that had salvage showing. When I did my piecing, I had to make sure that salvage was hidden in the salvage. Salvage within a salvage. Go figure. But I did it. I got it hidden really well. Only took me 1 try, actually, on both pieces. But then the 9 patch there in the center, you can't see it, and that was the goal. And then the upper right-hand corner, there was a salvage also that I had to hide. But this block also was a huge exercise in ironing. This one does not lay flat for me. I'm going to be pressing this one again and maybe starching it. This one was and is a challenge. I may do it again. Seams are ironed open, and I think that caused part of the problems. Number 72, Tomahawk. Historically, this is one of my very favorite quilt blocks. There are 10 half square triangles, very high in contrast, as it should be. This posed also a little bit of an ironing problem, but not as bad as number 71. Very high contrast quilt block. Enjoyed making it. And the last picture is of all 3 together.
So happy sewing this week. Blocks 70, 71, and 72. And just a question for thought. If you feel like it, will you please comment below? I would like to learn about some of the other projects you're doing this summer. I have some mending to do. I have some neighbor's jeans. This is one of my favorite neighbors, and he is a widower, and I always hem his jeans for him. He's an Italian, and he's a hoot. And he's so appreciative of when I hem his jeans for him. So I'm doing a pair of jeans. I have my granddaughter's dress that she kind of ripped out in the sleeve up here in the seam that I'm mending. And then, don't ask me why, but I'm eyeballing this. It's called Blueberry Crumb Cake. And this was a kit I got from the Corn Wagon Quilt Company. And it's called Cherry Chocolate Crumb Cake. And it's done in beautiful, let me see if I can get the reflection off of it. Done in beautiful browns and reds and cream color for this kind of a pattern. So, but it's so hot right now. It's good to be inside sewing. Happy sewing this week. And please leave me a comment. I'd like to know what you're working on, even if it's just Christmas in July, like Brenda said she was working on in her comments to me a week or so ago. Let me know what you're doing for Christmas or Christmas in July or sewing or I'm needing some inspiration. Let me know and leave me a message. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.